In 1931, at a time when Germany was struggling with economic hardship and mass unemployment, the story began with the DKW F1 and F2. As affordable mobility became essential rather than aspirational, DKW introduced the F1, a compact car driven by its front wheels, an unconventional choice that reduced weight, simplified construction, and lowered costs. This was followed by the F2, which refined the same idea instead of replacing it. Together, these early models established DKW's defining philosophy: front-wheel drive paired with lightweight, efficient engineering aimed at everyday users rather than elites. The mid-1930s brought greater industrial stability and stronger state influence over German manufacturing, shaping the arrival of the F4 and F5. Introduced during this period, the F4 marked a steady evolution of the original concept, followed by the F5, with both models sometimes produced in parallel. There was no F3. Numbering followed internal logic rather than a strict sequence. Improvements focused on body construction, comfort, and durability, while front-wheel drive remained central. By now, DKW had become part of Auto Union, positioning itself as the group's technically progressive and affordable brand. As the late 1930s approached and political priorities shifted, development bridged ambition and consolidation from the planned F6 to the F7. Although an F6 existed in internal planning, it never reached series production, reflecting how quickly industrial priorities were changing. The F7, introduced in 1937, represented consolidation rather than experimentation, more standardized, more robust, and better suited to large-scale production as Europe moved closer to war. With the outbreak of conflict, the F8 and F9 marked both technical maturity and a decisive turning point, ending with IFA F8 and IFA F9. Launched in 1939, the DKW F8 was the most refined of the traditional F models, but civilian production was soon overshadowed by the Second World War. Its simple, durable design ensured survival beyond the conflict. The more advanced F9, featuring a 3-cylinder engine and streamlined body, pointed clearly toward a modern future. After 1945, that future continued not under DKW, but in East Germany as the IFA F8 and IFA F9, which carried DKW's engineering ideas forward and later formed the basis of the Wartburg line. In the early post-war years, a divided Germany brought a divided interpretation of DKW, including the F11 and F12. Produced in West Germany during the early 1960s, the F11 and F12 represented refinements of existing passenger cars rather than a new beginning. By this time, the F designation functioned mainly as an internal reference, while buyers encountered names such as DKW 1000. These models reflected a brand attempting to modernize while still tied to its two-stroke heritage. Earlier in the 1950s, post-war recovery shaped a different internal development line: F89, F91, F93, and F94. These designations covered a broad range of DKW passenger cars marketed as Meisterklasse and 3=6. The numbering described technical evolution rather than distinct public model families. Front-wheel drive and two-stroke engines remained defining features, even as consumer expectations and competition increasingly challenged the concept. By the early 1960s, changing markets forced a decisive break with the past, from F102 to F103. The DKW F102 was modern in layout but arrived too late with two-stroke power. Sales struggled, and new ownership under Volkswagen brought a turning point. When the same car received a 4-stroke engine, it re-emerged as the Audi F103, marking the end of DKW as a passenger car brand and the beginning of Audi's modern era, a direct continuation under a new name. Parallel to passenger cars, post-war reconstruction created demand for practical transport, answered by the DKW Schnellaster. Models such as the DKW F89L, F830 and F800-3 applied front-wheel drive to commercial vehicles, offering low loading floors and efficient packaging. This lineage continued with the DKW F1000, but corporate restructuring eventually transferred the concept to Mercedes-Benz, where it evolved into vehicles like the N1300, extending DKW's influence under a different badge. Designations such as F91-4, F91-6, and F91-8 were at times used in reference to DKW MUNGA in period documentation and later usage. Over time, these labels became associated with the MUNGA as variants, reflecting contemporary designation practices rather than a direct link to DKW's passenger car model lines. In closing, across economic crisis, war, division, and recovery, DKW's engineering ideas proved more durable than the brand itself. From early front-wheel drive cars to post-war continuations under IFA, from transformation into Audi to influence within Mercedes-Benz commercial vehicles, DKW's legacy moved forward through successors rather than endings, quietly shaping European automotive history long after the name disappeared.